Alright, so welcome to my next video. This time we will take a look at a small request from the forum, which deals with a UI or UX feature or requirement that basically goes like this. So in case we want to create a new order, and this order is created in the context of an already existing customer, then this customer should not be selectable anymore because it has already been pre-selected implicitly through the fact that I selected the customer and went to its edit page in the first place. So we can actually take a look at the current application here. And first of all, we see this order browser, and when we create a new order, then we will see that we have the possibility to select a customer. This is totally fine in this case because from this order browser we don't have a context for which customer we want to create this order. But in this case here, when we have this customer browser and go to a specific customer and go to the associated orders and now hit create, then actually it's quite obvious that we want to create an order for this particular customer and not for anyone else. And it's kind of problematic to being able to change that within the flow of the order creation. So as we see here, it is pre-selected. This is default by Cuba, but nevertheless we can change it. So let's fix that. In order to do that, let's take a look at the IDE here and fire up our order edit. Okay, so the abstract editor, which is the superclass of this order edit, has some predefined hook methods that we can use for programmatically defining certain behavior. And one of those is called Init New Item. And this Init New Item is called once in case this order editor is opened with an order item as a parameter that is not already stored. So this means in this edit case where actually you just open up an existing order, this is not called. However, when the order is new, which happens to be the case when we hit create, then this method will be called and we get the item or the order in this case as a parameter. And what we can do here is that we can, depending on if for this order there is an associated customer already pre-configured, then we can do certain stuff and otherwise we can behave differently. And when we go back to our application, we see when we go from here to this screen, we see that the customer is already predefined. So this means that we can actually, just to show it to you, I will do something like that and set a corresponding breakpoint. And now we should be able to see that item get customer is not null anymore. Right? So, and just to being 100% sure, we can go here and hit create. And now the application didn't stop at this breakpoint because the customer is actually null. So this means that we can use this behavior to programmatically change the UI. So let's take a look. When we have our field group here, there's this property called customer, and we can inject, or basically we can get a reference to certain elements on this UI screen via the mechanism of injecting. And I will do an injection here. And in this case, it is a customer field, which is of type lookup picker field because I configured it that way. And now we have a reference to this field, and what we can do is doing something like set visible false. And yeah, actually we can just do it like that. So let's see if it works. When we go this route, then the customer should be able to be selected, which is good. And in case we create an order from an existing customer, then this customer selection should just disappear. But this is only the UI part actually, so the data gets referenced correctly, so we can just create that. Okay, so this is like an interesting problem that I haven't seen coming, but we can actually take a look. So this is like when you have compositions that are 2 levels deep. In this case, we have a customer has many orders, and an order has many line items. And now, in order to save that, there has to be done a special, like a hack. I mean, it's documented in the documents of Cuba. However, it is not super obvious. So this is like a generic error that we just saw. I can just pop it up here once again. It actually does not really reflect the problem that we have. And so the problem is that once you have 2 levels of nested elements, like of nested compositions, then you have to have in this upper editor, which is a customer editor, you have to define the correct data source structure. We can actually just try. I will not save that here. Go out of this and just try to fix that. And this is customer edit. And what we see here is that we have a data source for this customer which loads its associated data. So the direct attributes like name, first name, birthday, and stuff like that. And then we have this collection data source for the orders. And what we have to do is that we create a child element which is another collection data source, and this is like the line items data source. And as you see, IntelliJ already shows me the options that I have here, and I will pick the line items, and probably we also need to do that for the documents. So let's see. Hopefully this should fix this error. So we'll go to orders, create one. We see our logic has been applied just correctly. And we will now create a line item once again. And now save that. Now it actually worked. The fact that there is no order ID has to do with the situation that only when I save, when I click OK here on this upper editor, the whole data will get stored. So when I do that and open it once again, you will see that there is another order ID already assigned. And the error is gone with this line items thing here. Okay, with that we have actually fulfilled this requirement that in case an order is created in the context of an already existing customer, then the customer will not be shown as a selection field. All right. Thanks for listening and have a nice day.